Hey guys, this is Nathan, and this is my second week reflection for mobile player experience. So this week we were going further into our heuristics charts for two games, and we're going in on the gameplay this time. So let's get started. So this is my first game, and this is for Avabel Online, in case you didn't see my last video. And that's a MMORPG, action-adventure, 3D MMO. So, pretty awesome game so far, and pretty happy with how its scores have been turning out so far as well. This week it got a total score of 7, so it stayed in the green. It did very well. There was only 3 problems with it, 2 minors, 1 major, and they were all pretty much for the exact same things. And that was grinding and lack of differentiation. So you have this for the first time experience is encouraging. There are no repetitive or boring tasks, and the game supports different playing. Not that one. Sorry, the game does not stagnate. Now, quite honestly, this is a pretty common thing with MMORPGs in general, in that they really are centered around a lot of grinding and repetitive tasks to build up your character. But you could still do some things. Avabel Online is set up as a game where you're basically trying to clear a floor and go up to the next floor, and I think there's like 100 different floor levels, each with higher level monsters. I've played it for a little bit, but I'm not super high yet, so far it's all been pretty much the same, as in you go up a floor, there's higher level enemies that might be slightly different in appearance and moves, and you basically get used to them. You kill them, you do some quests, and it's pretty repetitive. And that repetitiveness can make it as a game less noob friendly per se, and so it can kind of discourage new players from wanting to really dig into it. So for that, I said make the game less repetitive. Basically, give variation early on so that people want to stick to it. For boring tasks and the stagnation, that was primarily about the grinding, where you're basically just killing people to gain levels so you can go higher and kill more enemies. And that can get tiresome, as I said, and that can get boring depending on how what you enjoy doing. But overall, I didn't feel that those 3 things took away from the game very much, and the score supports that. Everything else, they really did a good job on scoring basically perfect on everything. Just to kind of emphasize it, if you haven't played an MMO, they're basically normally open world games where you're kind of free to roam, do your own thing, and you're able to do quests or not if you don't want to. And they're very much built around that leveling mechanic, and so they all have this same problem basically, so I don't think it really takes away from the game at all. So on to Squabby, the tower defense game that I've been playing. Now this game got a total heuristic score of 9, so it also did well, and that's with 3 minor problems, 1 major. And so let's start at the first problem, which is a minor problem. The players are rewarded, and rewards are meaningful. So far in my experience with it, there are no awards. And so it's not really a big problem because it doesn't affect the game, in my opinion. But they could probably fix this by adding unlockable towers once you hit a certain amount of experience, or things like that. challenge, strategy, and pace are in balance. This was a major problem, I felt, and it really isn't balanced. It's a good game, but I'm pretty darn good at TDs typically, and it doesn't seem to progress anywhere. And no matter how good of a strategy I build up, I could be basically killing everything instantly, and then all of a sudden one thing happens, and it's not a boss or anything like that, but it's not vulnerable to any of the towers at all. It doesn't die. And I've done this with towers on almost every square, upgraded all the way that are supposed to be there. So it's an extremely difficult game. It's very fast-paced. So I thought maybe if they slow down the pace, if they gave you the options to slow down the pace or change difficulties, that could be good. There are no repetitive or boring tasks. Minor problem, don't think it makes the game boring, but there really is not much differentiation. It seems like there's only one default stage. I've gone pretty deep in it, and it doesn't ever seem to change to a different level. And so you have that default stage, and then you have stages that you build. And all of them run off of the same exact monster mechanic, so it's not like you're able to change the waves, you don't get flying waves or anything like that. So it is repetitive. I don't think it's boring though. So minor problem. And the game does not stagnate. This, for some people it could, and that's why I put it as a minor problem. It's a TD, a tower defense, so once again it's kind of a game where by nature it is relatively repetitive. But you could add maybe different towers or different levels, different monsters, things like that to make it a little less repetitive, I guess. Overall, it doesn't distract from the game, though, and I'm very happy it also gets a 9 out of 9. So, not 9 out of 9, sorry, it got a total of 9. Both games, really, really good in their own right. I felt, from a gameplay perspective, they definitely scored where I thought they would, because neither of them has had bad gameplay in my experiences with them so far. I will say I don't have any screenshots this week because there really wasn't anything that could screenshot, I felt, that I didn't show last week. You know, like I said, for Avabel Online, it's pretty much grinding is the problem. You know that it's just grinding, and then with this one, a lot of the stuff are things that can't really be represented. This one being Squabby. But even without the screenshots, I hope you enjoyed my video, and thank you for watching it. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you all again next week. Have a good night. Bye.